problem and you look at the answer. From
No,
the portal
just
while I'm-
study the screen and fall asleep.
There you go.
Probably what I'll do.
You do have, on page 737, so I'm beginning with chapter 16's budgetary entry, doing a problem there. If you look with me on page 737, your comprehensive illustration for the chapter, the first thing they do, the first journal entry is the appropriation side. They don't do the estimated revenue side, but you have one there. No, that's all of them. That is what I'm looking for, is the governmental, the budgetary entries. When I say prepare journal entries for the budgetary, it's that.
Which one?
So, it's on page 737. It's the first journal entry in the comprehensive illustration, but I'm gonna do one. I just want you to know there's a second one for you to look at.
So you want us to know how to do A?
A1. When I say the budgetary entries for the government, that's that.
Oh, A1. That's it.
Y'all. You might need to know debit encumbrance, credit encumbrance, outstanding or reserve. It wouldn't be bad to know all of those, but I know you're gonna need the first one. And number 3 is when you have a purchase order. Number 7 is when the purchase order is completed. You get the police car, you had reserved $110,000, but it really cost $112,000. So 1, 3, 7 would be very good to know. Okay, what did I record for you? 38 and 39, I believe. If you look at them. I'm going to do number 32 right now. The Board of Commissioners, I'm on page 744. Number 32, the Board of Commissioners of the City of Hartmore adopted a general fund budget for the year ending June 30th, 2015. Revenues, estimated revenues of $1 million, bond proceeds of $400,000, appropriations of $900,000, and operating transfers out of $300,000. They're asking you for the journal entry if the budget is formally adopted, and they have to record it, which most cities and counties do. What is the journal entry at the beginning of the year, and what later entries required? I'm not sure what they're asking there, but number 32.
Isn't that just the reversal?
Oh, okay. At the end of the year, like closing. I guess so. Okay. So at the beginning of the year, remember that revenues have a credit balance, but for our governmental entries, when we record that, we debit estimated revenues. So at any point in time, whatever revenues we have minus the estimated, that's what we're still supposed to have for revenues, right? So it is the opposite of what we would think. Appropriations will have a credit balance and chip away at them. Estimated revenues a debit balance. Rather than write it on the board, I think I'll just point you to that and let you do that. So we debit our estimated revenues. We credit our appropriations. We debit the other financing source bond proceeds. Thank you, Paul. He gets another piece of candy.
He's back to the
Back
whole.
in good graces. Okay. Debit to estimated other financing sources bond proceeds, so that will be offsets with other financing sources bond proceeds. We're going to have a credit for that. We're going to have a debit for this. It'll offset at the end of the year. So anything that's going to be, that would look like I'll let you figure that out. Appropriations, other financing uses, operating transfers out. And then the difference is a plug to budgetary fund balance or fund balance. We just plug that, okay? What happens with that in real life is that $200,000 is going to be chipped away at with all the meetings throughout the year where you make amendments. the budget.
It will never not get spent.
Oh, no, 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 it'll all go away. Okay, they'll make a new debit to estimated revenues and credit to fund balance. They'll make a new credit to appropriations, it's usually the appropriations, credit to appropriations, debit to fund balance for the amendment of the budget. A couple months down the road, 3 months down the road, 7 months down the road, they keep amending the budget. But we're assuming they don't amend the budget, so at the end of the year, we actually do have those things in the budget. Nothing has been amended, and we just make exactly the opposite journal entry. Okay? To close the budgetary accounts. So that is called the budgetary accounts. When is that important? When it is required by law to record the budget. And most cities, have you ever had one that did not have to do budgetary entries, Paul, that you can
Not that
remember?
I've worked with.
Probably is required by Florida, I don't know.
It may be, I'm not sure, but it's usually a required entry.
Yeah, I mean, we do frost proof and they're tiny and they still have,
Budgetary entries
Yeah.
the first day of the year, and you close them all at the end of the year. So, any questions about that? That was something that you need to know. Okay, the landfill journal entries, I believe that was in 17. And I don't remember what I did for you in class. Did we do number 30 in class? We did something in class for landfill.
Yeah.
We did 30, that is a landfill journal entry, and you do have a landfill journal entry problem on your test. So number 30 is a good one. You also did number 31 for homework. That's a landfill. Slides. I don't see another landfill I could do. I really need to do journal entries, so. Those are the only two that I see.
So that's where we get the journal entries from?
Yes, ma'am. So I will, we're focused right there on 30. I'm gonna put, number 30 and number 31 up and just explain these to you a little bit, just so you know what we did. We've already done them, but I'm gonna do them again. I'm just not gonna write them on the board. Number 30, there's a video of this. And so, and I remember I messed up in class on this. We had the one, let's see, okay, I'm on number 30. There's a landfill. And it says we're approximating 1.2 million closure costs. And 700,000 for post-closure work, which is $1.9 million. At the end of the first year, we're 3% there. So 3% of the 1.9 million is debit to expense dash landfill. It's expense, not expenditure, because it is an enterprise fund. It's business type. Actually, that's government-wide. It'd be accrual anyway. They didn't ask us for the fund financial. Okay, only the government-wide. And then a credit to landfill closure liability. You just need to know the account names. And so 1.9 million times the 3%, just memorize this. Also, it says that we had to make a cash payment, and that was $50,000. So we debit that liability and credit cash. At the end of year 2, we now estimate instead of 1.9 million, it went up another 200,000. It's now 2.1 million. So we did that 2.1 times, now it's 9% full. And we subtract what we had already accrued the year before, $57,000, and that amount was 132. So it looks just like the first year's entry, same accounts, with 132,000, and we make another $50,000 closure. It also asks us, what do we do? That's if it is accounted for as an enterprise fund. Sometimes, however, it is a general fund. The government-wide are the same journal entries. then C asks you for, if it's an enterprise fund, what journal entries do we do in the fund financial? It's an enterprise fund, it looks the same, right? The only one that was different here was D. Remember this? And that's because if it's in the general fund, we don't use expense, we use expenditure. We don't have long-term assets, we don't have long-term liabilities, and all we did in D was account for the cash. Remember that? We did that together. Number 31, you did on your own, solid waste landfill, 54% of capacity on December 2015. Initially anticipated $2 million, later decided to be $2.4 million. None of these costs will be incurred until 2009. And so they asked you, first of all, what's going to be on the government-wide financial statements? You'll have the long-term liability, 54% of the estimated amount, $2.4 million. And the expense would be the difference between, it'd be whatever you had to debit to get to that at the end of the year, correct?
So for the test, are you gonna give us, like, just, are you gonna make us do all of these types, or are you gonna ask us for one in
I
particular?
don't remember. But I'm telling you that you need to know these two problems, and you'll do fine. For part B, for the fund financial, it's just whatever you spent, if you spent anything, debit expenditure, credit cash. And since they didn't tell you any expenditures, there's nothing in the fund financial statements. That is the landfill. I'm moving to chapter 18. Now we're going to do a patient revenue thing with the third-party payors, the insurance companies, Medicare, blah, 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 remember all that stuff? I'm not sure that there's actually anything that I can add to what we've already done, I believe. Did we do, I think I recorded for you 40 and 41. Is that correct? Does anybody remember? Anybody look? Don't remember. I put that down as what I should record.
I've been saving them all for this week.
Okay. All right, well, number 40,
Oh yeah, you did it 40 and 41.
well, number 41 is the healthcare. And, you need that patient revenue, stuff, those journal entries. Is that patient care? No, that's a public support, that's not. Okay, 41.
So that was like the, on page 840 where the allowance for uncollectible and those, are those the ones that you're referring to?
Yes,
Or it starts on 838.
yes, that particular illustration, the journal entries, and we're kind of running out of time, okay? If there's something else that you see one, if you see one and you want me to report it this week, I'll be happy to. I've got to do it either Monday or Tuesday. I'm meeting Wednesday for a conference in Asheville.
So the journal entries though on 18 are the patient revenues. That's what we're looking for the
Yes, sir.
journal entry part.
Which is starting on page 838,
Yeah.
going to 839, and 840. Make sure you know how to do those. I don't remember which of the three instances I'm asking you for, but I'm asking you for something there.
Which one was that?
It's journal entry for patient revenue, I think is what it says on your.
Just those
Hi,
journal
Anna.
entries.
How are you? So glad you're here.
I'll sneak it in the back.
Okay. Anyway, it's the, what does it say on the review sheet?
It says journal entries.
Journal entries in 18,
And 18.
and it's the patient revenues. Is that the only problem in 18? That's what you need.
There's an
Well, there's
Well, your essays are, I'm not giving you the essay stuff, okay? I mean, does it tell you what the essay is?
It says
classification of expenses.
Okay, so,
So when you say essay, I mean, are you meaning like, okay, good.
one
Short
sentence
answer.
if you can do it, 2 if you have to, and 3 if you absolutely must, okay?
So a page
Right,
long.
I gotta read them,
So
all
it's
right?
not-
Don't do the BS thing where you keep flinging it on, and you get more it'll be a longer answer, but I will also know you're not sure because it'll be a longer answer.
But
You know, and I will tell you, I know you're probably mad at me, but I will tell you, I graded that ethics case pretty hard. Some of you did not read the requirement for the problem for each, you know, what was I asking for, and you answered totally differently than what the requirement was. It's just really weird. So I want you to make sure, because we're gonna do that again, you're gonna have me in the fall, and we're gonna use another Mensa Morris, you know, and so,
So we should keep that book.
oh yeah.
It'll be the same edition.
Keep that.
We will use the second edition.
Oh, that's what
I know, she had the third. I'm like, how do you have 5 answers and when everybody else has 4? She had the third edition. The new cohort will use the third edition, but you will continue to use the second, so you don't have to buy anymore. Questions? Yes, Greg.
My grade still isn't uploaded for
Oh,
that.
would you email me so I
Yeah.
do that? I've got it on my desktop on my desk at home.
Was it like it's locked after it closes or something like that? 'Cause I remember
No, I just
Clay was
haven't
saying
graded
something
it.
about that.
No,
So
it's
it's like I
me.
didn't want to keep bothering
It's
you.
me. No, bother me, because I need to get that in before report your grade.
for chapter 9, there's the fair value and the cash value. You mentioned hope that fair value, is that like,
For chapter 9,
yeah,
Mhm.
for the,
forward contract and the ASCI and all that stuff. Is it computational or conceptual?
I don't know, I'm just going off of what you
Conceptual.
what you said, and you said just hope it's fair value because it's easier.
Yeah, as far as the journal entries go, okay? But that particular one, I'm not gonna tell you which one it is, but it is conceptual.
Okay.
And you have a 1 out of 5 chance of getting it right. Multiple choice. Just make sure you understand, you know, I tried to explain to you why we use the AOCI and why we don't in the other and that kind of thing, why we use present value. So understand the why for each of those types of journal entries, and I think you'll be all right with that particular conceptual. Do you have anything on, you need to,
Yes,
Here?
because I want to plug into the webinar.
okay.